Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and today it is going to be a very, very special, interesting, as well as enlightening conversation with someone who has the title of life coach. But she's a doctor to begin with, but she found herself not satisfied with the knowledge of biological functioning of human beings. So she felt that there are other layers, other orbits, and if I use the term metrics of the composite flow of life of a human being, which involves not just this birth but previous birth also. So there are simple yet complicated areas that very effectively are touched by life coach Dr. Devanshi Kapadia. She's based in Mumbai, but right now she's joining me online. So wherever she is, she's here with us. Namaste, welcome.
Namaste, namaste, Ashokji. Thank you.
So Devanshi ji, how are you?
I'm well. Everything is good. Please.
So we'll sort of uh, kind of capitulate, as they say, few things related to your life. And in that context, as I was mentioning, you did your medical studies, but you felt that there is something more that you wanted to learn. What was it which you feel left a sense of something missing in the puzzle of solving the total problems?
Yes, Ashokji. So it so happened that I come from a medical background, and medicine was always the way of life. And we were not introduced right as a conditioning in the family to looking beyond medicine. There was religion, there was faith, but there was not more understanding of the whole energy component of life. And when certain events that happened, and I went from one doctor to another, went from one medical school teacher to another, and then at one point of time they were the one who started saying that, Devanshi, we feel there is more to this than what you are explaining. This is not something which probably medicine can solve. And their paradigm of understanding was, why don't you go for yoga, why don't you go for meditation? And that's when I realized that these are my go-to people. This is my comfort zone. This is where I feel is beginning and end of life, which is medicine. And now suddenly these people are telling me that I need to look beyond what is my conventional structure of thinking. And they are talking about medicine, they are talking about meditation, they are talking about yoga, they're talking about clearing the thoughts in your mind. And that's when I understood that, okay, my base in medicine is just going to be my stepping stone. And yet there is so much which is associated, and which I probably need to look into. And that's when I started exploring, how does the conscious mind work, how does the subconscious mind work, what is psychology, what is beyond psychology. And that's how the journey of life began. It began with medicine, but it began when the medicine structure, the people associated with medicine, started saying that, look beyond. And they all know, in the whispers in the medical world also, they all know that there is beyond. But when it comes to medicine, they have to confer to that structure. But I was privileged and I was lucky that my teachers told me that, no, you're young, what you're explaining is something which you will probably need to look into the deeper paradigms of life. And that's how I got introduced from the medicinal world into what is beyond medicine, which is the energy medicine.
So, energy medicine, and I will also bring, you use the word subconscious mind. And now, connecting subconscious mind with the understanding of energy, as they say that some places have different energy, some human beings have different energy. And we also hear very often people say that change your energy. And so in order to do that, you also studied outside India about the intricacies of human mind, which goes beyond what is visible and what is logically explainable. So, talk to me a little bit about, very briefly, uh, uh, the impact of the previous birth also. is it for real? Because some people feel birth, rebirth, etc., and let's just focus on present. So how past, not just past of that past which began with date of birth that I have, but there is a continuity of the past. How that whole composition plays out in the present moment for any human being.
So let's understand this in a little more acceptable norm and fashion. So let's understand that what happens between us and our ancestors. So what happens is that we are a part of a certain family structure. We have the mother, we have the father, we have mother's mother and father, and we have father's mother and father. Now, how they were interacting with each other, how they were interacting with their surroundings, how they were interacting with their social, economical, educational, cultural, and religious background. In that way, their whole mind, their whole input of information from the surrounding was programmed. So slowly, they started picking up certain belief systems. Money is good, money is not good, rich people are good, rich people are not good. I'm never going to be healthy, I'm always going to be healthy. To attract the attention of so and so person, I have to throw a tantrum. I have to dress in a certain way, only then I'll be wanted. My parents don't want me, my parents want me. I have to leave my country and go to another country because there's political unrest. So all these things kind of slowly become a part of the belief system and become a part of the nervous system. Now let me make us come on the same page as to belief system and nervous system. What happens is when we start believing in a certain way, believing in a certain belief, then our neuropathways, means the way our brain functions and the way certain neurotransmitters are emitted from the brain, become fixed. So our response to a fear mechanism becomes fixed. Our response to panic becomes fixed. Our response to aggression becomes fixed. Our response to certain traumas become fixed. Now that fixed neuronal pathways, that fixed neurotransmitters are then imprinted into our DNA. And as they're imprinted into our DNA, they are passed on to the next generation. So although I didn't undergo partition, I didn't undergo poverty, but my third, fourth, fifth generation grandfather or grandmother went through it. It's imprinted into the DNA, then it's passed subsequently in the generations to come. And that's how, even when I have all the food supply, even when I have all the money supply, even when I have healthy relationships, I'm behaving according to a past nervous pattern or a past
So
traumatic pattern.
yeah, I will interrupt here because now I find it very exciting because you made it more understandable the way it is, and then we also come to the theme that we have taken, redesigning destiny. And I thought it's important to understand what is it that is resulting into the kind of destiny as we refer to as destiny. So there is a pathway which includes not just my experience in this form, but some experience that are conveyed to this form from the previous birth, whatever it is. Now, how would you convince somebody who feels that मेरे साथ तो ऐसा ही होता है, so I'm destined to always have problems. I will always have lot of struggle even to get to a little bit of सक्सेस. ऐसा कई लोगों की लाइफ में होता है. तो एज लाइफ कोच, हाउ डू यू हेल्प them see beyond the immediate waves which makes them feel miserable?
Correct. So I'll answer this in three parts, and the first part is, which I already said, that how we are pre-programmed to believe about ourselves in a certain way because of our ancestral lineage. Second, the second reason why we would want to believe that we are underprivileged or we are victims or we are not always favored or we don't get our choicest situations in life is when we are one cell. Like when at the time of conception, there is a male egg and there's a female egg which fuses to form the first egg. Now this is a common biological process of conception. This is common biological process of fertilization. but through all the religious texts and all the spiritual texts in the world, whether it's Buddhist, whether it's Tibetan, whether it's Islam, whether it's Indian, whether it's Egyptian, whether it's Greek, whether it's ancient African, ancient American, everywhere it's written that at this point of time, although there is mother's energy and there is father's energy coming from a certain egg, there is also a part of the own structure which forms in, means I am taking A from mother and B from mother, but I am Z myself, and that's why I become an A, B, and a Z. And in the process of fertilization, when biologists observe this, they say that yes, two cells are fusing to form the third one, but the third one is neither A, neither B, but it's completely a different thing, which is the Z. So how does A and B combine and don't become A plus B but become a Z? Is because there is an innate energy. There is a very unique energy. There is a specific energy which also gets formed into this conception, into this fertilization, and that's where we carry all the records of the past and come into this different form, into this different life, into this different structure. If we cannot be a part of our past life, or if we are not a part of something which we already have been, then how will the knowledge be transmitted? Nobody comes and tells us that okay, this is how tire was invented, this is how electricity was invented, this is how vehicles were invented, or this is how you have to use solar energy. Although there are records, although there is lot of things in the recorded format, but there is also intelligence which is passed from one generation of human beings to the other. So when we are born today in 2021 or 22, these children are already born with the awareness of technology, because now technology has become a part of today. So they have already experienced some bullock carts and some older technologies, and not living with cellular phones and living under oil lamps in another generation. But because this generation has already adapted to the next level of technology, when these souls are now being born, they are not carrying the old memories alone, they are also immediately able to adapt to the next structure. So that's part 2 of explaining that what is destiny. One is your ancestral destiny, one is your own soul destiny, or one is your own rebirthing destiny, and third is your childhood destiny. What happens is till the age of 0 to 7, by 0 I mean from the time you were a part of your mother's womb till the time you are approximately 7 to 8 years old, your your conscious thinking, your analytics is absolutely zero. Everything you take on face value, like this is yellow and yellow goes in. Now that picture may be a green, but you are told that this is yellow, so you take it green. So mama tells papa is bad, so take it in your mind that papa is bad. Mama tells that grandmother is bad, so take it in your mind that this old looking woman is going to be bad. Now mama tells don't touch that, it's very dangerous for you, so that's imprinted there. So till the age of 7, everything that we are told, we do not filter it as right or wrong. We just take it inside. You are stupid, it goes inside. You are good for nothing, it goes inside. You are absolutely useless, it goes inside. But you are a wonderful child, goes inside. You are very intelligent, goes inside. You are loving, it goes inside. So these are the three ways in which we manifest what's going to happen to us in life. One is what happened to our ancestors. If it's not resolved at their level, if it's not healed, if it's not understood, we are going to start showing similar patterns, behaviors, and life situations. Second, if we are already coming from an unfinished, ununderstood story of the past, our soul is going to carry the imprints, and we are going to be born just with the desire to complete that incomplete story. So if in last life I had died out of drowning, then this strong sense of claustrophobia, strong fear of water, which has got nothing to do with my current life. I've never been drowned, I've never been submerged in water, I've never had a flood in my life, but I have this phenomenal fear of water. So I'm going to carry it still. In this lifetime, I'm able to understand it, I'm able to resolve that trauma, and that this lifetime I develop a friendlier relationship with water. Or
Yeah.
when I'm a small child, I've been told, don't go there, you'll drown, don't go there, you'll fall into water. So Ashokji, when somebody comes to us struggling with a certain issue, we first try to understand that what does it look like a pattern followed through generations, does it look very unique to this person which does not have an explainable cause, or does it look like a childhood trauma which has got fitted into their brain. So this is how we analyze the situation.
So let me request you to focus on one aspect which also is one of the factor of the way we mm, define destiny. So if I take three major issues of any person's life when they go to show their horoscope, either they're looking at harmony in relationship, or they feel that they need to make more money, or they need that which we call as abundant to unfold abundance in their life, or they have some health issues. So the limited time that we have, let us look at the monetary side, the financial side, where some people feel that they are destined that they won't have enough of money. uh, is it is it true the way they feel, or there is some redesigning of their destiny which is possible with proper guidance?
Correct. For money, generally, we encourage us to explore the paternal side of the story. So, money is lots related to how the father's equation has been with money. And if somebody says no, but my father's equation with money has been excellent, there's no problem. Then we look at the mother's father relationship with money, or the father's father relationship with money. So, generally, money is a very ancestral issue. Money is a very family pattern issue. And when your father or your maternal grandfather or your paternal grandfather hasn't had good relationship with money, they've lost a lot of land, they've lost a lot of money, they've been cheated by people again and again, their projects didn't take off, they never had good investors, they never had good buyers or sellers, or their products drowned in the ship, in water, or their godowns got fire, then all these kind of patterns will stay stuck into our subconscious, and that's where our belief will start, that I am not destined for good money, or I'm not destined for abundance, I'm not destined for privileges. Now, how do we handle this? Generally, we allow a person to first reflect and introspect, that do they remember of any incidences that happened with the father or either of the grandfathers, where the whole equation with money, the whole relationship with money would have been completely warped. Now, that's how we slowly start redesigning their equation with money. But if you talk about destiny, if you talk about, can somebody be destined to not have money at all? Generally not. Money is a very strong force, it's a very strong energy, it's a fast moving energy, and money is a non judgmental energy. It does not judge whether this one is good, bad, right, wrong, upper, lower, young, old, nothing. Money is an energy. Now, the only way you can block that strong force coming into your space is when you have created blocks and barriers, and these blocks and barriers are your belief systems. Now, these blocks and barriers could be directly inherited from your previous generation, especially of the male energies in your family. So whenever you want to redesign or repattern your equation with money, the predominant force or the predominant side to look at will be to start looking at your paternal side, either your own father or your mother's father or your father's father. So when we have this directed very specific approach, then a lot of blocks regarding money can be released, and in 70-80% of the cases, this is where the answers will lie. So nobody can be destined to not have money or to be underprivileged or to be poor. You can be born into a poor family, or you can have poverty of generations, but there could be a point where the block was instilled, and that block is easy to resolve, and everybody can then enjoy the privilege of abundance.
So there are several examples which tells us that the parents were coming from a very humble background, but kids have done very well. And there are many CEOs from Indian origin who are known internationally right now. And if you look at the life of previous President Obama, so and there are several examples. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi also had humble beginning. So either the individual is consciously working on breaking the pattern, or maybe they don't pay attention to what was preventing them from growing, and they just focus on their talent, potential, and grow with it. uh, so these people who have grown, they won't come to a life coach because they are not facing that problem. People who have found themselves stuck, they will try to get to the bottom of the thing. So now this one part is which is being carried forward. Another is whatever you have in the form of your potential, talent, resources, ability, opportunities, how you make the most of what you have is the space where I seek your input. Some people do very good in the same circumstances, some not so good. They might be of same caliber, yet their output is different.
Correct. So that's if we have to look only at our at present, what is happening, then we again go back and look at what is our socio economic, religious, educational upbringing. As long as we can see that what have these four done to us socially, was I surrounded by people, was I with people during my adulthood, during my adolescent years, or did I see my family losing money, or was there somebody in my life like a teacher, like a mentor, who was constantly criticizing money? Then that criticism will somewhere dwell into me. So if there is a strong critical approach, then that critical approach towards money is generally adapted from somewhere. So that's one part to look at. Second, in certain countries money is looked as a taboo, or it's for the very affluent people, or you make money by only by the wrong means, you cannot make money by the right means. So sometimes socially there can be a very strong social impact on us, by which we break our relationship with money, wherein a lot of prejudice, a lot of judgment is put on money. Now when you are creating a judgment or a block for money, the money is going to stop flowing into your space. So money only is for privileged people, and the privileged people are going to make abuse of money, and they are going to use it as a tool for power. Now the moment we make this belief as a strong belief within ourselves, consciously we do not want to be tyrants, consciously we do not want to harm anybody, consciously we will not navigate into a space where we are overpowering somebody else. And in that conscious awareness of not overpowering somebody else, the price we pay is losing money, because very early subconsciously we have made a decision that money is for wrong and misuse of power. So that's how. And sometimes the trauma of not having money is very deep seated. Like, I'm a small child, I want a particular toy, and my friend goes and buys it, and I kept on telling my mother, please buy me the toy, please buy me the toy, please buy me the toy. At that time my mother either was absent to me, or was not paying attention, or didn't have the money. In my mind, I'm going to make a belief for my entire life that what I want never comes to me. Very frivolous, one single toy, maybe not costing too much money, but because of what happened, that trauma gets imprinted, and then that trauma grows with us. When we are little, that small trauma becomes, feels very big, but as we grow up, the size of the trauma also starts growing with our growing subconscious mind. So what was a small little experience, like a little dot in our subconscious, as we grow, it magnifies. And then Ashokji, we say that first it's a pencil mark, then it's a pen mark, and then it's a marker mark. So the first ever trauma that we get is pencil mark. It can be erased. The second mark becomes a pen mark. You can erase it, but there will be still traces. But the third time a trauma repeats in our life, it becomes a marker mark. No matter what we do, it's not going to be erased. So any trauma which repeats two or three times into our life becomes very deep seated, and it becomes an energy drain for us. And then a lot of work of forgiveness, a lot of work of cord cutting, a lot of work of letting go is required for removing a trauma which is like a marker mark in our subconscious
So,
mind.
since we just have a minute or so, I'll request you to tell us, it is possible to redesign one's destiny?
Absolutely, it's very possible, and there are so many tools which are around and in us, and so simplistic tools are available to redesign one by one everything that's a part of our living, breathing, and present circumstance.
So, on that note, which I would say the positive note, so we are not stuck anywhere. There are always ways to move beyond and create new energy pattern. I use your term now. So, so you work towards redesigning your destiny by learning, and I think those who focused on learning how the life is unfolding. One of them is sitting with us as life coach, Dr. Devanshi Kapadia. She has helped people across the globe in discovering as well as realizing their potential. So I appreciate you joining us today here and talking about redesigning destiny. Thank you
Thank
very much.
thank you,
Lots
Ashok.
of good
Thank
wishes.
you. Thank
Uh,
you.
while I thank Dr. Devanshi again, I thank all of you for being a part of this interesting and enlightening conversations. With lots of good wishes, this is Ashok Vyas.
Thank
Namaste.